Welcome back to Collegiate Sports Connect. We're here in Nashville for the 2025 NCAA Convention. I am so delighted to be sitting down today with the winner of this year's Woman of the Year Award, Alexandra Turvey. Alexandra, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here tonight. It was such a special night, and it really is just an incredible honor to have this award.
Well, huge congratulations. I'm sure you have all of the feelings right now. Was your family here? Tell me about the experience of hearing your name being called.
Yeah, I feel so lucky. I have my dad here with me today. My mom couldn't come because she had to teach, but huge community back home, as well as my coach and other people from Pomona. And honestly, I was not expecting this at all. Hearing my name, I was like, oh no, I have to prepare a speech or something to say, but absolutely honored and so grateful.
Well, this is so exciting. I was a former student athlete, and I just can't, I'm feeling all the emotions for you. So you were a swimming student athlete at Pomona College. You've received so many accolades. You were a multi-time All-American. You were a 2-time Canadian Olympic trials participant. You're one of the most accomplished women in college athletics. Tell me more about your student athlete experience and what made it so special.
Yeah, so my time at Pomona, I honestly miss it every day. It was truly the best 4 years of my life. And I came in, having grown up in Canada, I didn't really know what to expect from NCAA collegiate athletics. And truly, that experience surpassed all my expectations. Being part of a women's swim and dive team and just getting to spend 3+ hours a day with 30 incredibly inspiring women who are really just my best friends was just the absolute privilege and the best experience of my life.
One key feature of recipients of this award is leadership. Tell me a little bit about who has influenced you as a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's hard to pinpoint just a single person. I came in as a freshman on the team, and there's so many of our women leaders and team captains, but I think what I saw is that leadership isn't only coming from a captain. You can be brand new on a team and still have an impact and have a leadership role. And so over the years, I think just being surrounded in that sort of space with strong, inspiring female athletes shows you that anyone can be a leader even when they may not realize it themselves.
When you think about yourself as a leader, how would you describe your leadership style?
I think my style is just putting in the work. Leadership isn't glamorous. You don't have to be the one always making the speeches and rallying everyone around you, but by leading by example and showing up and, putting in the work and practice each and every day. I think that is what true leadership is showing up even when you may not feel like it, or maybe you're really sore and tired and don't feel like showing up for an early morning practice, but you're there and you're ready to go. And I think everyone else sees that and feels that they can do the same.
You truly embody the student athlete, the holistic vision of a student athlete in this day and age. You've mentioned before about how that experience of showing up again and again, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, and how success isn't linear. Tell me more about that concept and how that kind of played out for you.
Yeah, I think, so many athletes can relate that there are many more bad races than there are good ones, many more disappointments than opportunities when you swim best times. So I think, seeing that was so valuable, even from an early age. Maybe you're 12, 13, and you have a bad race, but that, maybe next week you'll have a great race. And so I think the biggest lesson from all of that is just taking every opportunity, because you never know when you're going to have a best time. It may not be at the end of the season. It may be at a random competition in January. So really treating each opportunity as an opportunity for success and for greatness.
The Woman of the Year recipient often is very involved with community service. Tell me about how that's manifested in your experience.
Yeah, I think community service and contributing to your wider community and society is really just the norm at Pomona. Everyone around me was doing it, so it wasn't really something that stood out. And I became inspired to be a volunteer at Red Cross blood donor drives, and that was really just a privilege for me, where I got to go in and meet these incredibly selfless people who are willing to really donate a piece of themselves and spend hours, hooked up to these platelet machines. And, I would always go back to the lab or to practice or to my classes feeling inspired and revitalized.
One word that you've used to describe your experience as a student athlete is empowering. Elaborate more on what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. I think being on a women's swim team, you see that the fastest person and the best person and the smartest person is always a woman. And, being in that sort of environment, you see that if, this person can do it, why not me? So I think the empowerment that comes from having so many resources and hours and coaches and things devoted to your success and making sure you have a good experience is truly empowering, and it's something that I'll carry forward with me for the rest of my life.
Well, speaking of the rest of your life, I know I'm gonna say some of these words wrong. You're currently pursuing an 8-year dual graduate MD PhD program between Harvard and MIT. You've conducted research in, you'll have to say this for me, genomics, computational biology at the Children's Hospital. Tell me about your educational pursuits and what you're ultimately pursuing in the long term.
Yes, absolutely. So that's right. I'm in an 8-year program, which means I'll be graduating in 2032. So just thinking about making a commitment, to a place and to a city for 8 years, I think, that wasn't so hard for me because that's something I've done with athletics. And, I've swum for 15 years. Mm-hmm. So an 8-year commitment didn't seem like such a big deal at the time. And yeah, so my interest is really in genomic computational biology, and specifically finding tools and techniques that can help us better sort of characterize rare disease-causing variants. So sort of looking at genetics and how we can really understand what may be causing a person's disease through things like genomic sequencing. And the exciting thing about all of this is it means I get to combine my passion for both medicine and serving the patients in front of me, but also being able to contribute to much wider populations of patients and people I'll never actually meet through my research.
I am so glad that we have strong women like you in this field. I'm very excited about that. Well, last question for you here, Alexandra. When you think about this era of college athletics, there's so much change, there's so much unknown. Mm-hmm. Student athletes have a lot on their mind, administrators have a lot on their mind. What message would you share with administrators, with ADs at all levels about the importance of the student athlete experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel, as someone who has had so many resources and coaches and things devoted to me as a student athlete, I just hope that every female student athlete has the opportunity to have a similar experience. So, investing in women's sports team, making sure that teams aren't cut, things like that can really go a long way in ensuring that women have a really empowering experience while they're in college athletics, and aren't having things like being pushed aside so the football team can have better lift hours. Is just small, tangible things that can make an incredible difference.
Absolutely. Well, Alexandra Turvey, winner of this year's NCAA Woman of the Year Award, thank you so much for joining us here, and congratulations. Thank you for all that you've done as a leader in college athletics.
Thank you, and congratulations to all top 30 finalists as well.